What if I told you that the secret to speaking English fluently has nothing to do with grammar books or vocabulary lists? What if the real key is not how many words you know, but how you think? Hey everyone, and welcome back to Everyday Fluent English. I'm your host, Adam. Whether you're just starting your English journey or you've been learning for years, I'm really glad you're here today, because this topic is a game changer. Today we're going to talk about something powerful, something that separates people who struggle to speak from those who speak English with confidence and ease. It's called thinking in English. Now, I know what you're thinking. Adam, what does it mean to think in English? And why is that so important? Well, let me explain. And I promise to keep it simple, practical, and yes, even a little fun. Let's start with something we've all experienced. You're trying to speak English. Maybe you're ordering food, answering a question in class, or having a casual conversation. You know what you want to say. But suddenly, your brain freezes. You pause, search for the right words, and then it happens. You start translating in your head, word by word, sentence by sentence, from your native language into English. But here's the thing. Translation is slow. It breaks your flow. It makes you sound less natural. And worst of all, it's exhausting. Does this sound familiar? If yes, you're not alone. In fact, over 70% of language learners say they get stuck because they're thinking in their native language instead of English. And that's what we call hitting the wall. But here's the good news. Thinking directly in English can help you break through that wall. So why is thinking in English such a big deal? Let me give you a simple example. Imagine you're driving a car, but you're holding the brake pedal down the whole time. That's exactly what it's like when you translate everything in your head. You're trying to move forward, but something is always holding you back. Now, let's remove the brake. That's what happens when you start thinking in English. Your thoughts become faster, your speech becomes smoother, and your confidence starts to grow. You're no longer pausing to translate. You're no longer second-guessing every sentence. You're just speaking. And that's fluency. Still not convinced? Let's look at some quick facts. According to research from the University of Washington, learners who think in their target language perform 42% better in speaking tasks compared to those who translate. Another study by Cambridge found that learners who think in English can speak 3 times faster and make fewer grammar mistakes. And get this, your brain is actually capable of switching languages naturally. The more you use English without translating, the stronger those connections become. It's like building a new path in your brain. At first, it's slow and bumpy, but with time and repetition, that path becomes a smooth highway. Now, I know what some of you might be feeling. Adam, I'm not ready to think in English. I don't know enough vocabulary yet. I hear you. But here's the truth. You don't need perfect English to start thinking in English. In fact, the best time to start is right now. No matter what your level is, just think, I want to drink water. It's a small shift, but it makes a big difference. Here's what you'll start noticing. You become faster at forming sentences. Your listening skills improve because your brain is tuned into English. You start understanding jokes, expressions, and everyday phrases more naturally. You stop second-guessing yourself in conversations. In other words, you start living the language, not just studying it. Look, I won't pretend it's always easy. At first, your brain will want to go back to your native language. That's normal. It's your comfort zone. But with practice, that will change. And soon, English will start to feel natural. Think of it like learning to ride a bicycle. At first, you wobble, you fall, you get frustrated. But eventually, with enough practice, you're riding smoothly, and you don't even have to think about it. That's what happens when you train your brain to think in English. Now that we know why thinking in English is so powerful, here's what you can expect in the rest of this video. I'll show you simple and practical techniques to start thinking in English, no matter your level. We'll talk about how to stop translating in your head. I'll share powerful tips like self-talk, visual thinking, and active listening. You'll also learn real habits you can use every day, even if you only have 5 minutes. And don't worry, I'll guide you through everything step by step. Here's something to keep in mind. Fluency isn't about being perfect. It's about being able to express yourself. Native speakers make mistakes all the time. They pause. They say, they forget words. So don't let fear stop you. You're not here to become a textbook. You're here to become a confident, real-life English speaker. If you're ready to change the way you speak and think in English, then stay with me. Because the next part of this video is going to show you exactly how to start. Let's talk about something that almost every English learner does, often without even realizing it. Translating, word for word, in your head. You might be doing it right now as you listen to this. You hear a sentence in English. You quickly try to find the meaning in your native language. Then you try to respond by translating back from your language into English. It's like a mental ping-pong match, bouncing from one language to another. Let me be honest with you. This habit is one of the biggest things slowing down your fluency. Now don't worry, it's not your fault. Most learners start this way. In school, we're often taught to memorize vocabulary lists. And our brains get trained to create a mental dictionary. English word equals native word. At first, that seems like it works. You build your vocabulary. You feel like you're learning. But when it comes to speaking, things change. Let me show you what happens behind the scenes. Imagine someone asks you a simple question in English. What do you like to eat for breakfast? Now, if you think in your native language, here's what your brain does. 1. You hear the sentence. 2. You mentally translate it into your language. 3. You come up with an answer in your language. 4. Then you try to translate it back into English. 5. Finally, you say it out loud. Sounds tiring, right? That's because it is. This process creates mental traffic. Your thoughts get stuck in a loop, and suddenly, you're not having a conversation. You're solving a puzzle. This habit causes what we call mental blocks. You know the word, you know the meaning, but the sentence doesn't come out. Why? Because your brain is stuck in translation mode instead of communication mode. And fluency is all about flow. It's about speaking without overthinking every word. But when you translate everything, your brain can't relax. It's too busy jumping between languages. Let me give you an example that makes this super clear. Imagine you're driving a car. You start the engine, shift into gear, and press the gas pedal. But there's just one problem. You forgot to release the parking brake. What happens? The car moves, yes, but slowly. It struggles. You feel resistance. Eventually, the engine gets hot, and you have to stop. This is exactly what happens when you translate everything while speaking English. Your brain wants to move forward, but translation is the parking brake. It's holding you back. You can still learn English this way, but it's going to feel hard, slow, frustrating. Students who relied on translating while speaking English made over 60% more pauses and twice as many grammar mistakes compared to those who tried to think directly in English. In another study from Japan, learners who practiced thinking in English for just 10 minutes a day showed 35% faster speaking speed after just 3 weeks. Thinking in English. So, why does it matter so much? Why do language experts, teachers, and even native speakers say this is one of the most powerful habits for learners? Well, here's what happens when you start thinking in English every day, even in small ways. Let's start with something simple but important. Speed. Have you ever been in a conversation where someone asks you something like, "What do you do in your free time?" and your brain goes into panic mode? You pause, you try to translate, you get stuck, and by the time you respond, the moment has already passed. But when you think in English, your brain skips the translation step. That means fewer pauses, faster responses, and less pressure. It's kind of like switching from a slow bicycle to a smooth electric scooter. You still need balance, but you move way faster with less effort. And in real conversation, speed matters because it helps you keep the flow going. It shows confidence. And most importantly, it makes you feel less anxious when speaking. Fluency isn't just about knowing lots of words. It's about how naturally and smoothly you can use them. When you think in English, your brain starts to connect words together like native speakers do. You start using short, real-life phrases like, "I'm not sure," "Let me think," "That sounds great." These phrases come out more easily without translation, and soon your speech sounds more natural and relaxed, not robotic or memorized. This is where you stop feeling like a student of English and start feeling like a real English speaker. Finally, and maybe most importantly, thinking in English builds confidence. You stop overthinking, you stop fearing mistakes, and you start trusting yourself. Because when you can think clearly in English, you feel more in control. You're not just reacting, you're expressing yourself. And that's what language is really for, communication. You don't need perfect grammar or fancy words, you just need the confidence to say what you mean, and mean what you say. All right, now that we understand why thinking in English is so powerful, the next question is, how do I actually start doing it? Because let's be honest, just saying, "think in English" is easy, but turning it into a daily habit, that takes strategy. So in this part of the video, I'm going to walk you through 8 simple, practical, and powerful steps that you can start using today. These techniques are used by fluent speakers all over the world, and now they're yours too. Step 1. Awareness. Catch yourself. Translating. The very first step is awareness. You can't change what you don't notice. Start paying attention to your thoughts. Are you translating in your head every time you speak or listen? Just recognizing the habit is already a huge win. For example, if you hear the word apple and immediately think of the word in your native language before saying it in English, that's translation. But when you notice this happening, just pause and gently tell yourself, "Okay, I don't need to translate." I'm going to think directly in English. You're not trying to be perfect. You're just catching yourself, and that's the first step to changing it. Step 2. Create an immersive environment. If you want to start thinking in English, you need to surround yourself with it. This doesn't mean moving to London or New York. You can create a mini English world right where you are. Try this. Set your phone and apps to English. Watch English TV shows or YouTube videos with subtitles if needed. Listen to English podcasts while walking or cooking. Play English music in the background as you clean. Even if you don't understand everything, your brain is soaking it in. Language learning expert Dr. Stephen Krashen calls this comprehensible input. It's the idea that regular, understandable exposure helps your brain slowly absorb grammar, vocabulary, and sentence structure naturally. And the best part? You don't have to study it. Just live with English and you'll start noticing small changes in how you think. Step 3. Self-talk. Speak your thoughts. One of the most powerful tools you can use is self-talk. This simply means talking to yourself in English during the day. You can do it in your head or out loud, whichever feels more comfortable. Try this. When you wake up, okay, I'm going to brush my teeth, then make some tea. While cooking, I need 2 tomatoes, some salt, and a little bit of oil. In the shower, today I have a meeting. I hope it goes well. Self-talk is powerful because it's 100% private. No one is judging you. There's no pressure. And yet, you're practicing thinking, vocabulary, and sentence building all at once. Even just 5 minutes a day of self-talk can rewire your brain to think in English faster. Step 4. Write in English. Focus on thoughts, not grammar. Writing is another excellent way to train your thoughts in English. Start a simple journal, nothing fancy. Just write 3 to 5 sentences each day about what you did, how you feel, or what you plan to do. Example: today I felt a bit tired, but I still finished my work. I made pasta for dinner. It was tasty, but next time I'll add more spices. Don't worry about making mistakes. Don't stop to check grammar. The goal here is fluency of thought, not perfection. As you build this habit, your mind starts learning to organize ideas in English without needing to switch back to your native language first. Step 5. Use visual aids. Train your brain with labels. Here's a fun and very effective trick. Label objects around your house. Stick a little note on your mirror, your fridge, your door, your desk, with the English word on it. Why? Because this builds a visual dictionary inside your brain. You stop connecting the object to your native word, and instead connect it directly to English. Over time, when you see a chair, your brain won't think kursi or silla. It will just think chair. And that's exactly the goal. Step 6. Mirror practice. Train like an actor. This one might feel a little awkward at first, but it's super effective. Stand in front of a mirror and talk to yourself in English. Look yourself in the eye. Smile. Practice short sentences. It could be something simple like, "Hi, how are you today? I'm feeling a bit tired, but I'm okay. I have to go to the market later." Why does this work? Because it helps you become comfortable hearing your own voice in English. It improves pronunciation, confidence, and body language. Even actors and public speakers use mirror practice to get better, and now, so can you. Step 7. Describe instead of freezing. Let's say you forget the word for blanket. Instead of freezing and saying nothing, try describing it. It's soft. You use it when it's cold. You put it on your bed. That's still communication, and that's what matters. This technique builds flexibility. It teaches you how to work around missing words by using what you do know, and over time, it boosts your fluency and vocabulary at the same time. So what's the difference between active and passive listening? Let's break it down. Passive listening. This is when English is just background noise. Maybe you're playing a podcast while doing dishes, or watching a show while scrolling your phone. This is still useful. It gives you exposure, but it's not enough to improve your fluency fast. This is where the real magic happens. With active listening, you don't just hear English. You study how it sounds. You focus on tone. Is the speaker excited, serious, sarcastic? Rhythm. Which words are stressed? Which are softer? Pauses. Where does the speaker take a breath or slow down? Emotion. What feelings are behind the words? Let's say you're listening to a TED Talk or podcast. Here's how to turn it into active training. Step 1. Choose short clips 2 to 3 minutes long. You don't need to start with an hour-long episode. Pick a small section so you can focus. Step 2. Slow down the speed. Most platforms let you play at 0.75x or even 0.5x. This helps you catch every word and sound clearly. Step 3. Pause and repeat. When you hear a sentence you like, pause and repeat it out loud. Try to copy the rhythm, tone, and emotion. This is called shadowing, and it's used by professional interpreters. Step 4. Take notes. Write down useful phrases or expressions. Don't just write single words, write chunks that you can use later. Example, instead of just idea, write, "That's a great idea." Instead of just think, write, "I've been thinking about that." Step 5. Re-listen without subtitles. At first, use subtitles or transcripts if needed, but after a few listens, turn them off and test your ears. This trains your brain to understand English as it's spoken in real life, not just as it looks on paper. Even with the best methods, even with motivation and a clear goal, you'll still face some challenges. And that's totally normal. In this part of the video, let's talk about some common roadblocks that English learners face and how to deal with them. Because if you're prepared for the bumps in the road, they won't stop you. You'll just drive over them. Use sticky notes, alarms, or visual cues around you. Put a note on your mirror that says, "Think in English." Set a reminder on your phone at 9 a.m., 3 p.m., and 7 p.m. What are you doing right now? Say it in English. Change your phone and app language to English. It may feel silly at first, but it really works. Let's be honest. English has a lot. Grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, idioms, phrasal verbs, and more. It can feel like too much sometimes. But remember this, you don't need to learn everything at once. Think of English like a big puzzle. You're building it piece by piece, not all at once. Break it into small parts. 5 new words a day, 1 podcast per week, 10 minutes of journaling in English. These small steps create progress. Also, take breaks when needed. Your brain needs time to process what it learns. You don't need to study 5 hours a day. Even 20 focused minutes a day is enough, if you do it consistently. This one is really common and frustrating. You're speaking English, and suddenly your mind goes blank. You freeze. Why does this happen? Usually it's a mix of pressure, nerves, and overthinking. Here's the fix. Don't aim for perfect sentences. Instead, practice describing what you mean. Let's say you forget the word umbrella. You could say, "It's the thing you use when it rains. It keeps you dry." That's perfect. You communicated clearly. And that's what fluency is. Getting your meaning across, not speaking like a grammar robot. This is a skill, and it improves with time. So be patient with yourself. Now here's something surprising. Your body can help your brain speak better English. Here's how it works. When you sit or stand tall, your body sends a signal to your brain. I'm confident. And guess what? Your brain starts to believe it. Think of all the tiny pockets of time you have each day. Waiting in line at a shop, sitting on a bus, taking a break at work, waiting for food to cook. These moments might only last 5 or 10 minutes, but they add up. That's where daily micro-practice comes in. What can you do in 5 minutes? Describe what you see around you in English. Think about what you're going to do next in English. Say a few English sentences to yourself silently or out loud. Listen to a 5-minute English podcast or voice clip. Write a quick journal entry or text yourself a note in English. It's like brushing your teeth. You don't skip it even if it's short. Consistency beats intensity. Even just 10 minutes a day equals over 60 hours per year of English thinking and practice. That's huge. The more often you use English, even in small ways, the more natural it becomes. But here's the most important reminder. Fluency is a journey, not a race. Keep reminding yourself, I am learning. I am improving. Fluency is coming. The power to become fluent doesn't come from a book or a course. It comes from you, from your effort, your mindset, and your consistency. So keep going. Believe in yourself. And remember, here at Everyday Fluent English, we're learning together, step by step, word by word. If you found this video helpful, give it a like and share it with someone else who's learning English. I'm Adam, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, keep thinking in English and stay fluent. If this video helped you understand how to think in English, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, because that helps more learners find it. What about you? What's one way you'll start thinking in English today? Tell me in the comments. I read everyone, and I'd love to hear your plan. And if you're serious about becoming fluent, make sure to subscribe to Everyday Fluent English. New videos, short, simple, and designed to help you grow, step by step. Until next time, keep thinking in English. And remember, you're doing better than you think.